And I know that this suit is focusing on a policy, at least a tipping policy, that ended in 2018. But this year alone, Instacart has hired hundreds of thousands of more shoppers, and a recent LA Times report detailing some of the harsh metrics that they're judged by, including the number of seconds it takes to pick an item. How are you ensuring that these shoppers are treated well now in this current moment amid the pandemic when they're serving as essential workers?
It's a terrific question, and there's no doubt that Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and others in that space, Postmates, are essential and clearly are getting a lot of business these days. First, the D.C. lawsuit is really focused on a time period in 2016 and 2018 regarding how it described service fees. D.C. consumers are reasonable. They view service fees as tips. Unfortunately, Instacart put those service fees in the category of regular revenue, and therefore did not give those monies to the drivers, and we think they misled consumers on that point. The second part of our lawsuit is looking for taxes that should have been paid. Gig economies are subject to the same rules as old companies, brick and mortars. They've got to pay their taxes. With respect to the worker rights issues, those are concerns the state attorney generals are also focused on. I do not have an investigation right now going on with respect to Instacart, but I'm aware that other attorney generals are deeply concerned about the way in which gig economy workers are treated.
Absolutely, and we have spoken to some of them, such as California's AG. Now, you have brought lawsuits against DoorDash in the past, Uber for its data breach, now Instacart. But, Attorney General, these companies, they're able to raise so much money that in many cases, the fines or penalties that they pay amount to very little in the grand scheme of things for them. So do you need broader legislation or regulation for these companies to really hold them accountable?
Well, you make a good point about their ability to go to the market, be it the private market or the public market, to raise monies. They also need to just follow the rules. I think that's why our lawsuit and other lawsuits like ours are incredibly important. We're not going to let them go for 18, 20 months period of misleading consumers and not giving money to the workers as they promised. So I think with respect to legislation, it's important for regulators to keep an eye on these companies. And certainly the attorneys general will bring suit like we did where necessary.
Mr. Attorney General, do you think gig economy workers need to be treated as employees across the board?
John, I follow you and have followed you for years, and I think the debate is really fascinating. I also read with great interest the op-ed that was written by the CEO of Uber. There is no doubt that I think that we need to move towards another direction with regard to making sure that gig economy workers have the same or similar benefits that other workers have. There is something about being a gig economy worker and having, more say in how your day works out, but we can't have them be denied the basic benefits that other workers are denied. And I think you're seeing those debates now being formed, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to reach a resolution that is fair to gig economy workers and fair to these innovative companies.
So, Attorney General, does that mean that you're still deciding whether or not gig economy workers should be treated as full employees? As you noted, a number of other AGs are looking at that legislation or have already put it in place. What is your stance right now? It sounds like you're still considering.
Well, Deirdre, you're putting the pressure on me, which I appreciate. I think the California law that the Attorney General there, Javier Becerra, is reviewing, as well as the Massachusetts law that Maura Healey is applying, is different from the D.C. law. And so I've got to look at it with respect to what the D.C. law is, and I can assure you that our office is doing that.